And before we get to that, Michigan and Georgia, let me start with a little personal anecdote. So,
little Michigan.
On a hunch, I find out this weekend, on a hunch, Your Honor, that I was registered to vote in 2 different states.
Really?
Despite the fact that I did vote. I did vote in one state, and I had a formal change of address. My wife voted absentee, and there is a way to track absentee.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. Apparently, she did not vote absentee. Now, I will allow there's maybe a 99% chance that this is all an accident, including, by the way, with my grandmother, 96-year-old grandmother, who you saw at the Michigan rally, who also voted absentee. But the system just shows that she did not vote absentee. So this is a little disturbing. We have some phone calls to make, follow up on. But I will grant you I could be wrong about all of it, and it's just a system error, in which case, don't worry about it, because it's just the largest, most pivotal election in American history.
The system works,
They
Stephen.
saw your granny coming a mile away.
Yes.
At 2 miles an hour.
The thing is, my 97-year-old grandmother is playing 4D chess. She's got them right where she wants them.
She's awesome.
Play checkers and give my money to those Chinamen. It's chess. So they started wanting to check the status of my wife's absentee vote, because there's a lot going around where they're saying you hear this rhetoric that many millions of Americans believe that their vote did not count.
Right, yeah.
And I go, well, hold on a second. We've checked public voting records before, at least for previous elections. That's not too hard to do. It should be pretty easy to find out if my vote counted, if my wife's vote counted. Some states don't give you the ability to track your vote, just your registration. Some states do give you the ability to track your vote if you voted absentee, assuming the post office works. So again, we're making some leaps here.
Yeah.
It's a big assumption.
Give us a minute.
Look before you post office. So some states do. Michigan is one of them. Michigan is one state that does give you the ability to track your absentee ballot. Okay, but I don't want you to take my word for it. Go to clip 2.
The most important tool that people need to know about is really the Michigan Voter Information Center, which can be found at michigan.gov/vote. It's a service that's run by the Secretary of State Bureau of Elections, and on that you can find if you're registered, your registration status, where you vote at, the contact information for your local clerk. On that, if you have voted absentee, you can see the date that your request was received by your local clerk, when your ballot was mailed out, when they received it. So that's a great tool to kind of hold the clerk accountable and to make sure that you know that where your vote is at in the process.
Sorry, clerks. Hope you have an answering machine. Because I will encourage everybody to check this out. And if you have the same anomalies that I found with every person I know who voted absentee in Michigan, I would encourage you to call your clerks and go through the process. Let me explain to you, too, really quickly. This is how that is supposed to look. We have a video. You can keep my mic on. Look, you go to the website. Okay, michigan.gov. Vote. You go there.
Looks like what you did.
Looks like what we did. Okay, are you registered? You enter in your information to show if you are registered and if you vote by mail. This is the video right here. It shows you, okay, entering in your birth date. You can enter in your month. Then you enter in your birth date. You don't need the exact day. You just need the year. And then you enter in your zip code. Now, this should show you, look, you are registered. And it should show you the status of your absentee vote. See that right there? With a tracking number.
Yeah.
Let's bring up really quickly. We can, I don't know if we can warp speed again, so people can see my wife voted absentee in Michigan. This is what she got when she signed up. There you go. Exact same process. We entered in the proper information. She is registered to vote in Michigan. I know some of you are saying, well, because we have a house in Michigan. We've had some family members in ill health. My wife has been in Michigan for quite a few months out of the year before other than me this year. So here we go. We entered in her information. I'm going to block it because she is married. So you don't see all of her information. Here you go. Now we enter it in. Zip code.
Same process, yeah.
You are registered.
Okay.
But no other information.
What else?
That's it.
She voted absentee. And by the way, she's not a Democrat. She voted well ahead of the deadline for the election. Sent it in. She wasn't like, I don't know, same week, good enough. Now, I thought maybe that's just an anomaly. My grandmother is 97, someone who is actually at risk of the COVID. Plus, it's just a trek. She's got to go down to a grade school. So let's bring that up again. My grandmother, Ruth, 97 years old. Here is, nope, just says you're registered. No status on absentee voting.
No other
Now
info.
to yours truly, on a hunch, I voted in Texas because I did not spend nearly as much time in Michigan here. So I had a formal change of address. Voted in Texas. Let's show this really quickly. This is proof of me voting in Texas. I'm registered to vote in Texas. Great. Formal change of address. I'm obviously on file there. Here's something else interesting. I'm also registered to vote in Michigan. Now, that may not seem in and of itself disturbing enough, though I would argue it is.
Yeah.
Let's bring this up from Forbes. Michigan's law is that everybody who's registered to vote gets a ballot. They don't have to be requested. This was signed into law. Anyone
after-
registered to vote gets a ballot. So someone living at that address where I no longer live, this is an old residence,
Right.
received my ballot. As to whether they voted, I do not know. All
It's a
I know is my wife voted in Michigan. My wife voted absentee. My grandmother voted absentee, who lives in Michigan 100% of the days of the year. And the information that we have on their absentee vote is the exact same information we have on my voter registration in Michigan, which is false. So, best case scenario, this is a broken system where
Yeah.
you cannot check the status of your absentee
Right.
ballot. Worst case scenario, it's the perfect system to try and remove any transparency for obvious fraud.
Right.
And we will be making some calls to clerks. I want everyone who voted absentee in Michigan, everyone who voted absentee, period. If you have a state, and there's a database, we'll have it up at louderwithcrowder.com where you can check in your state. If you have the ability to track your absentee vote, not everyone does. Michigan, you do. There's more than just my wife and grandmother, by the way. In case
you
you're
kind
wondering.
of do.
There's a little bit of 9D chess here. We're still looking into it.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and what it does is it really highlights a problem that people had already identified weeks and months ahead of time, which was if you move to a mandatory sending of absentee ballots to all registered voters,
Yeah.
it completely ignores the fact that those systems and logs typically lag months or quarters behind
Yeah.
people moving, their
Dying.
address changes,
Right.
dying, that kind of thing. And while certainly there are systems in place to check those things, but if you combine a
Not
rush
really.
to count them all, I mean, in a normal election, you would have a smaller number of issues.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you have a
Right,
smaller
right.
number to check.
But there really aren't any systems for Michigan to check this right now.
and
Just-
now they have
Yeah.
nothing. And yet they
I
wanna
changed
push
my
it
address
through.
formally. I clearly voted in a different state. I don't
Yeah.
live there.
Hey,
Well, the systems don't talk. I mean, the system in Texas doesn't talk to the system in Michigan.
Oh,
But
it seems like that should be a necessity in a
Yeah.
federal election.
You would think so,
would
but
think,
that's
yeah.
not there.
It seems like it should be as proficient as when I used to play Bolo in the computer science
Yeah.
lab in the 6th grade on LAN
I feel
network.
like we're stuck in AOL online stuff. Like, really, we don't have a system where you can change the address and
that's
it updates
being
immediately.
generous.
Yeah.
I bet you that the federal government has net zero addresses.
Ah, yes.
Not a one.
And they make calls from Vonage. Now, people say
Judah,
you
yeah.
want to disenfranchise voters now by throwing. Well, hold on a second. I don't know if my vote. My wife doesn't know if
Right.
her vote counted. My 97-year-old grandmother, she probably doesn't have that many votes left. Maybe she might get a midterm in there if she's lucky. We don't know if her vote counted. So this is
Right.
what I'm saying. Unless it's legal, unless it's constitutional, you have to throw them out.
Yeah.
You have to throw them out if you cannot know that every legal vote is counted. Because right now we are in a system where illegal votes are absolutely counted, and we'll get into the documents, we'll get into the briefs here and the affidavits.
Yep.
And we don't know if legal votes are counted. There's no way to track it. There's no
Right.
way to
And
track
that's-
either.
And that's disenfranchising you. You also have a right to make sure that your vote not only counts, but is not diluted with
Right.
illegal votes. For whatever reason, mistakes can happen where you send ballots out to people who shouldn't get them. They've moved, whatever happens, right? So, and people can be, bad actors. They can
Right.
fill out your ballot and send it in and say, "Ha ha, Democrat."
I tell you
Steven
what, if
Crowder.
someone actually voted in Michigan for me, I'm
be funny.
going to be upset.
Watch Good Morning Mug Club live every Monday through Thursday at 10:15 Eastern.